Imagine a barber, not a banker, not a Wall Street trader, not a CEO, sitting in his small town shop, quietly worth millions, no inheritance, no lucky break, just one habit. Started early, never stopped. That is the entire premise of this book. And the uncomfortable truth it reveals is this: the reason most people never build wealth has nothing to do with how much they earn. It has everything to do with what they do first. The Wealthy Barber by David Chilton is one of the best-selling personal finance books ever written. Told as a story rather than a textbook, it follows three young adults who visit their local barber, Roy Miller, once a month to learn the basics of financial planning. The lessons are practical, conversational, and built for ordinary people, with ordinary people. Most financial advice assumes you already have money to manage. This book starts earlier. Before the money exists, it answers the question nobody else was answering at the time. How does a regular person with a regular paycheck actually build wealth from scratch? The answer does not involve budgeting obsessively, picking winning stocks, or sacrificing your lifestyle. It involves building a system that works while you sleep. The book's central argument is that wealth is an engineering problem, not an income problem. You do not need expertise or discipline. You need automation. Set up the right habits once, make them invisible, and time does the heavy lifting. Roy Miller proves this with his own life, a barber with an average income who started with nothing and ended up with a beautiful lakeside home, a paid-off building, and a fully funded retirement. The system works. The only question is whether you start it. Pay yourself first. The first and most important lesson in the entire book is deceptively simple. Before you pay any bill, any expense, or any discretionary cost, you pay yourself first. That means automatically redirecting 10% of every paycheck into a separate, dedicated investment account. The moment it arrives, you do not see it, you do not touch it, it leaves before you have a chance to spend it. Auto-deduct 10% first. The mechanism is a pre-authorized bank transfer, no willpower required, no monthly decision to make. The money moves automatically. Roy's insight is that within weeks, not months, your lifestyle quietly adjusts to living on 90%. You adapt faster than you expect. Keep strictly separate fund. This 10% fund is not your emergency savings. It is not your house down payment. It is not your retirement account. It is your long-term wealth-building capital. Singular, untouchable, and compounding quietly in the background for decades. Start compounding immediately. The math is brutal if you wait. $1 invested at 25 is worth dramatically more than $1 invested at 35. Time is the only ingredient you cannot buy more of. Starting now with a small amount is always better than waiting to start with a large one. Automation removes willpower. Every savings approach that relies on what is left at the end of the month fails, not because people lack discipline, but because human nature expands wants to fill available money. The only system that reliably works removes the decision entirely. Once you have automated the 10%, the next question is, where does that money actually go? And the answer changes everything. Own, don't loan. There are only two things you can do with money: lend it or own something with it. When you deposit money in a savings account or buy a certificate of deposit, you are a lender. You earn a fixed rate, and the bank profits from what it does with your money. When you invest in equity mutual funds or real estate, you are an owner. You participate directly in economic growth. Ownership beats loanership over any long time horizon. Ownership wins. It has to. If saving money in a bank consistently outperformed investing in businesses, the entire economic system would eventually collapse. Loanership merely tracks inflation at best. Ownership builds real wealth. Index funds match market. For most people, the simplest and most reliable ownership vehicle is an index fund, a low-cost, passively managed fund that matches the overall market's returns. You are assured of matching the market's performance at the lowest possible fee, with no manager selection required. Vetted active funds only. If you prefer active management, the selection criteria are strict. Look for a 10 to 15-year consistent track record. The same fund manager still in place. Genuine diversification and low fees. Reinvest all dividends automatically. Chase nothing. Dollar cost averaging. Invest a fixed amount every single month, regardless of what the market is doing. When prices fall, your fixed amount buys more shares automatically. This turns every market downturn into a buying opportunity without requiring you to predict anything. Avoid stock picking. Individual stock selection requires rare analytical skill, emotional discipline, and near institutional judgment. Roy himself never bought a single stock. The edge required to beat the market consistently is far rarer than most people believe. Mutual funds are the starting point, but once your foundation is established, a second powerful ownership vehicle becomes available: real estate. Real estate and leveragibility. Real estate builds wealth through what the book calls leveragibility, the ability to use a small down payment to control a large, appreciating asset while someone else covers the borrowing costs. A $10,000 deposit on a $100,000 property means you gain on the full $100,000. That asymmetry is what makes real estate uniquely powerful for ordinary earners. Small deposit, large asset. The rental income from an investment property can cover the mortgage payment entirely, meaning your tenant effectively builds your equity for you. Your only real cost is the initial deposit and your patience. Home equals forced savings. Your primary home functions as an automatic savings plan. Every mortgage payment builds equity. The tax advantages are significant. Mortgage interest deductions, property tax deductions, and a capital gains exclusion when you eventually sell your principal residence. Renting requires investing difference. Renting is not financially irresponsible, but only under one condition: the money you save by not owning must actually be invested. Renting and spending the difference is how you lose. Renting and investing the difference is a legitimate wealth-building path. Never overstretch financially. The most dangerous mistake in real estate is borrowing the maximum your lender will approve. Overstretching eliminates your ability to save the 10%, leaves no buffer for rising interest rates or vacancy periods, and puts your entire financial plan at risk. Building assets is one side of the equation. Quietly destroying them through bad debt is the other. Kill bad debt, keep cash lean. Consumer debt, credit cards, car loans, personal loans, carries non-deductible interest that compounds against you. Eliminating it delivers a guaranteed, risk-free return equal to the interest rate. There is no investment that offers the certainty of a 20% return. Paying off a 20% credit card does. Pay highest interest first. Target the highest rate debt first and eliminate it completely. Where possible, restructure consumer debt into tax-deductible form. For example, a home equity loan, to reduce the effective cost while you pay it down. Dollar saved equals $2 earned. Because savings come from post-tax money, reducing your spending by $1 has the same net effect as earning $2 before tax. Thrift is twice as powerful as it looks. This reframes frugality, not as sacrifice, but as leverage. Emergency cash, 2-3K only. The conventional advice of keeping 6 months of expenses in cash is wealth destroying. That idle money earns nothing while inflation erodes it. Keep a small liquid reserve, $2,000 to $3,000, and establish a bank line of credit for genuine emergencies. Never carry card balances. Use credit cards exclusively as a convenience tool. If you cannot pay the full balance each month, replace it with a lower rate bank loan immediately. Carrying a balance is renting money at one of the highest rates available. Once debt is under control, there is one more wealth-building layer most people ignore, and it involves turning down free money every single paycheck. Maximize retirement accounts. The 10% wealth fund is not your retirement plan. Retirement requires a completely separate, proactive savings effort using government-incentivized accounts that shelter your money from annual tax drag. And that difference, compounded over 30 years, is enormous. Capture full employer match. If your employer matches 401k contributions, not contributing up to the full match is the single most expensive financial mistake you can make. It is a guaranteed 50 to 100% instant return on your money. There's nothing else like it. Available to ordinary investors. Tax-free Roth IRA. The Roth IRA is funded with post-tax dollars, but every dollar of growth and every withdrawal in retirement is completely tax-free. For younger earners in lower tax brackets today, locking in your tax rate now and never paying tax on decades of compounding growth is an extraordinary long-term advantage. Never withdraw early. Early withdrawals trigger penalties, immediate taxation, and most devastatingly, permanently lost compounding. On every dollar removed, the cost is far higher than the number on the withdrawal statement suggests. Separate from wealth fund, retirement savings, and the 10% wealth building fund serve different purposes and must never be conflated. Both are non-negotiable. Both were simultaneously. Neither substitutes for the other. You have built the system. Now the final question is, what happens to everything you have built if something goes wrong? Protect income and legacy. The book opens with a story that makes this branch unforgettable. Roy's father died without adequate life insurance, leaving his family with nothing but a mortgage. Roy built his entire financial philosophy in reaction to that moment. Protection is not optional. It is the foundation everything else rests on. Renewable convertible term only. Buy renewable and convertible term life insurance. Pure death protection at the lowest possible cost. Cash value whole life policies bundle insurance with a poor return savings component that benefits the insurer far more than the insured. Buy term and independently invest the premium difference. 4-factor insurance formula. Don't guess at how much coverage you need. Calculated across 4 factors. Total debts to eliminate. Major future expenses like education, income replacement for dependents, and the long-term erosion of inflation. Do not insure children. They are financial dependents, not income producers. Protect earning power. Your ability to earn an income is your single greatest financial asset. Long-term disability insurance protects it while you are alive, and statistically, you are more likely to suffer a disabling event before retirement than to die young. Will executor net worth statement without a will. State law distributes your estate according to rigid formulas that ignore your wishes entirely. Draft a clear will with a capable executor, someone your age or younger, who lives nearby and who can handle financial responsibility. Attach an updated annual net worth statement so your executor knows exactly what you own and where it is held. Here is what to do this week. Set up a pre-authorized transfer of 10% of your next paycheck into a separate investment account, open an index fund, or select a vetted equity mutual fund. Contribute enough to your 401k to capture every dollar of employer match. List your consumer debts by interest rate and target the highest one first. And if you do not have a will, make an appointment with a lawyer. None of these steps require financial expertise. They only require a decision made once, set up properly, and left to run. Roy Miller did not become wealthy because he was exceptional. He became wealthy because he started early, automated the right habits, and never stopped. The system in this book is not complicated. It is just uncommon. Most people will hear these ideas, nod in agreement, and change nothing. The few who act, even imperfectly, even late, will look back years from now and realize this was the turning point. If this helped you, subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Find the book link in the description below.